show you is installation, or removal and installation of roller tilt 562 Elite, and these are some of the tools you're going to need to do the job. A Phillips head screwdriver, a flat blade screwdriver, or a pivot bar tool. This is a tool I prefer, the pivot bar tool. A pair of jam spreaders, which are commercially available. You can buy them online for $125 to $150 a pair. And a putty knife. This one is a 2-inch wide putty knife. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is raise and remove the sash. We're going to use the clockwise screwdriver or the pivot bar tool, which I have here, to unlock cam in the carrier, and then carefully let the balance retract up to the mounting bracket. I'll do the upper as well. Rotate the cam 90 degrees, let the balance retract up to the mounting bracket. We'll do one of these at a time, so I'll start with the lower. And take the screwdriver and remove the balance mounting screw. And I'm going to grab jam spreaders, lower the balance assembly down until it's about 12 inches from the sill. You don't want to be too close to the sill because it's welded there. You don't want to break a weld, and it's also more difficult to spread if you're close to the sill. So I like to be where I can put my jam spreader maybe just at the top of the sill stop that is in the top track. Open the jam spreader going clockwise with the screws. One below the balance assembly and one above the balance assembly. Now, you want these to be pretty close to the balance assembly, because the farther apart you are, the less it's going to be able to spread the jam. So again, we open these going clockwise. I like to do it simultaneously. You always have to open them more than you think. Rarely will the balance assembly just fall right out. Normally you have to pry it out. That's where the 2-inch wide putty knife comes in. If you've spread the jams enough, you can then take your putty knife, wedge it in the side of the balance assembly, just pop the balance assembly out. Okay. Now, because there isn't really anything wrong with this balance assembly, I'll just reassemble it, and we'll put the same one back in. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the balance assembly and insert the spring side first into the jam pocket, and then compress those springs, and then just roll the assembly back into place. Once you're sure it's in, then you can take the jam jacks, close them up until the jaws are narrow enough to fit out between the jam return legs. Once that's done, slide your assembly back up, put your mounting screw back in. That was the lower. You can do the upper the same way. Remove the screw, slide the assembly down, put your jam jack or your jam spreader in the bottom. Just above this balance assembly. And open the jam spreader. more you do this, the better feel you'll have for how far to open it. Just open it a good amount. Grab your putty knife. And alongside the balance assembly. Pry the balance assembly out. And there's not anything wrong with this balance assembly, so I'm just putting the springs back on. We're going to reinsert the balance assembly, putting the spring side in first, pressing the springs, rolling the assembly in, release the jam spreaders, turning the screws counterclockwise. Slide the balance assembly up. Follow the balance mounting screw. Pull the case down slightly, lock cam. And then we can reinsert this, reinstall the sash.